Good afternoon, everyone. How's everyone doing today? Hope everyone is doing well, being safe. And today we have a great show. We have a great informational, I guess it's more of a chat. And first of all, I want to thank everyone for being here today and getting this information on how can you obtain or how can you participate, how can you attend online college courses at Merced College. So our guest today, and it's an honor to have, and we have Jessica Moran, who is a dean of. Let me see if I can get this right. Dean of Adult Education and Non-Credit something
That's
else.
one more part. Yes.
Program.
Dean of Dean of Instruction, first of all,
Okay.
Adult Education, Non-Credit, and Workforce Development. So
Okay. There you go.
we love long titles.
Well, first of all, I want to say thank you, Jessica, for being here today, for taking the time. Actually, within the last couple of weeks, and the reason that this came up is because I learned about. I was not aware of all the programs that you guys are offering right now at Merced College, but let's wait a minute. Can you tell us a little bit about what you do
Yes.
as Dean of Education?
Yes. So I am a Dean of Instruction at Merced College. I oversee many different aspects of our programs, anything from, our staffing and making sure we have the adequate classes on the books. But really, the more important thing is making sure that we get feedback from our students, right? So making sure that we hear from our community members, what is it out there that we're really needing in order to close those gaps. And so we recently did a needs assessment. And so what a needs assessment is really looking at our community and what are those programs and courses that are really going to be beneficial. In our particular area for adult education and non-credit, the more prominent ones have always been our ESL classes. So English as a second language, our GED preparation courses. So how is it that we're going to be able to help our community members achieve their, equivalent of a high school diploma so that they can go on and achieve other things, right? That's usually kind of that first stepping stone. So I think that's the beauty about my role is being able to do that labor market research, being able to see what the statistics show in terms of job prospects too, because we want to be able to make sure that what we're producing in terms of programs and classes, it's really relevant. And so that we're going to have the positive feedback from the community when we put these. One of our more popular programs as well is medical assisting. And all these programs, I should mention, they're absolutely free. And by free, I mean free tuition. So there's no tuition in comparison. So a lot of the times there's that question between Merced College credit classes and our classes. So again, it is an adult education and non-credit. And so these don't carry any credits. So it's not going to be something that you would say you earned, 5 or 6 units for, but you definitely are getting certificates. And so a lot of the employers, that's what they look for. They look for those certificate of completion, certificate of competency to get you into the workforce. And so, like I mentioned, medical assisting is one of our very popular programs. And they are, getting jobs in front office. Kind of think of what a medical assisting does when you go into your doctor visits and whatnot. You'd be surprised. It may be one of our Merced College graduates in the community. But I don't want to dwell too much into it. But there's a lot that goes into my role. But for the purpose of today, it's really to make sure that we're constantly being in the loop as to what's relevant, to put those courses that our community members need to get forward.
Yes. So actually, and I say that I learned more about the different programs that you guys are offering right now because a few weeks ago I actually called and I had someone that was asking for a specific program. In this case, they were looking for citizenship classes to prepare them for citizenship. And then that's when I find out, well, you guys also offer this. I'm like, wait a minute, you guys are offering all this at no cost. So that was, I sometimes I try to kind of stay updated and stay informed of, what opportunities are out there in the community. But this is great. I mean, this is something that I really wanted to share with the rest of the community. and that is why we're having this conversation. Um, so, because yes, I understand that now a lot of or almost everything is being done online.
Right.
Um, Before COVID hit, or even after COVID, or once we kind of we're okay to go back into in person, would these courses be offered or have an option of being in person? Have you had that conversation yet?
Yes, absolutely. And thank you for bringing up the example of citizenship, right? So we have an array of classes and programs that we do offer, and we always try to add a little bit extra for our participants. So for that particular class, for the citizenship class, just know that, pre-COVID times, we were having a USCIS representative come into our classes to do mock interviews. So it's, because that's probably one of the most nerve-wracking parts of going through a naturalization process is once you get to that level of going to the interview, the anxiety,
Mhm.
the pressure. And so that added benefit we recently added, I want to say about a year ago, and it's been well received. They
Okay.
look forward to that day. They are as nervous as they would had it been
Mhm.
an actual interview. So we truly pride ourselves in making sure that they're relevant, because we know that our community members are taking time out of their days to come to our classes. Some of them are working during the day, and they're coming to our classes in the evening time. So it's a lot of self motivation in our programs to make sure that they are taking that leap of faith. And you're absolutely right. Just as many other school districts, we definitely saw the impact of COVID and having to do a very rapid transition to online.
Mhm.
So in March, just like so many other school districts, we had to go through so much of online training for our teachers and making sure that our students were well equipped. So we do have a non-credit lab that the students can come and we can show them how to register for classes. We can get them kind of off the ground and starting, but then they are going to remote classes. So then they go back homes and make sure that they're all set up. Even we have a laptop learner program. So if they
Mhm.
don't have a laptop, if they don't have the resources to have that, to buy themselves a laptop, as long as they are enrolling in our classes, we have the ability to check out a laptop to them. So there's a lot of wraparound services that we're very proud to be offering to our students. And our goal, though, is to eventually transition back to online I mean, not an online formality, but a blended version of it, right?
Yeah.
So, because that's really what our community does mention that they need. I would be naive to say that we haven't seen, some lower enrollments because of
Mhm.
that. So there are
Mhm.
there are the population that really want to be there in person. So we do have plans. Currently, we have some classes scheduled in February to start face to face. Again, due to COVID, we'll see how things progress between now and February 22nd.
Mhm.
For the latest news, you could always give us a call. You can go on our website. You can go to non-credit mccd.edu/non-credit. We have a list of all the classes we offer, the modality that we're offering them in, and we keep that information up to date as
Mhm.
real time as possible. So if something
Yeah.
happened today where we needed to change gears, the website's going to be the most updated version. So yes,
Okay.
it'll be a combination of the two.
Yeah. So, and one of the, I guess one of the bigger questions, we did this same or similar conversation in Spanish, completely in Spanish for the, we wanted it to do it one in Spanish and one in English. That way we can kind of try and stay focused. But one of the main questions that was asked in the other conversation was, what requirements, as far as where do I live? Do I need to live within, near Merced College? You know, um, my understanding was that, and what I found out is that anyone, anywhere in the world can participate. Can so what other requirements do you have? I mean, other than, I mean, do they need to provide a social security number? Do they, what do they need to provide?
Yeah, that's a very popular question that we get. And again, not to be confused with our partners on the credit side. We
Okay.
are the adult education and non-credit side of the house. So for us, we don't check residency. So for adult education non-credit, there's no requirement to be reporting a social security number. There is a questionnaire. You go ahead and fill it out as part of your application, but there is an option for no reporting. And that does not affect anything to do with your ability to get our classes free of charge. And you're absolutely right. That question comes up so many times, like, will you be revealing our information, things of that sort. And no, we have privacy laws and whatnot to keep your information secure. And we have been very fortunate because it's an online formality. We have been receiving enrollees from pretty much not only all over California, but even outside. So we have some folks tuning in from Mexico and things of that sort for our classes. So it's been a different platform. And so it's been interesting to be navigating those waters too, because now we're having Zoom conferences with people in different time zones. It's actually been a really neat experience for our office staff. So my program assistant that did the interview last week in
Mhm.
Spanish, and I make sure that if you are needing this in a translated Spanish version, to please check that out. And she is the one that is remoting in with other students. So she's making sure that they are set up with student ID numbers. If they have any questions about the process of applying, then she is more than willing to go ahead and jump on a Zoom with you. It's how we've been saying it, right? We jump
Mhm.
on Zooms.
Yeah.
If you call our office 209-381-6540, you'll be reaching our office technician. His name is Sal Melly. So we definitely have staff available. We are technically on vacation right now, so we do
Mhm.
return on January 4th. So if you are calling us, make sure you leave a voicemail. If you are emailing us, we will go ahead and make sure that you get either registered or your questions answered upon staff's return on January 4th.
Okay. Well, let me kind of backtrack a little bit. What are some of the list of courses that are provided at the moment? And I know that some of them might change, some of them might be deleted or kind of not available anymore for different reasons. And also some, you might end up adding a few in the next semester or so. What are some
Yeah.
of you did mention the English for English learners. You did we did mention the citizenship one, and then you also mentioned the nursing program. What others do you have on the list currently?
Yes. Another one, and I actually thank you for jogging my memory. I would like to also put a plug towards the end of some of the new programs we're currently in development and are looking very promising for a summer 21 implementation. So again, it goes back to constantly looking at our data and seeing what we can put out for our community. But to take us back, definitely the very popular is medical assisting. We've been having this program for, gosh, over 20 years, and we
Wow.
recently expanded to Las Vegas. So we have
Okay.
heard, the information. We have heard that our West Side is what we call it, our
Mhm.
West Side service area. We really needed to put a little bit more CTE type of programs in Las Vegas. And so proud to say that we fully launched that during a COVID pandemic. So we launched it November of 2020, so last month.
Okay. That's one.
I'm almost thinking that was a year ago. Did you see me kind of pause on the
Yes.
year? But it just seems like there was a lot of efforts towards this
Okay.
endeavor. It is fully online, obviously, with reasons. And the clinical piece is what we're allowed to because of public health has allowed us to do the lab pieces face to face with social distancing. So that's how we're still able to get students through the program. Um, we have a great response from Las Vegas. And so thank you very much, Las Vegas, for that. But definitely keep us, in the loop for more. We also have technical office occupations. So think about, knowledge that you need to maintain a front office type job. So
Mhm.
whether
Okay.
it's going to be an assistant to someone at a school, some sort of secretarial job, those front office admin support that you'll need. And those are in terms of the CTE programs that we really are focusing on, because we know that they have high employment potential. But then we have other classes that we call kind of like the fun classes. And so
Okay.
we are hoping to bring back the sewing class. So we do have a group of ladies, and sometimes we do get a gentleman or two in the class, but we're hoping to bring that back, face to face in February. And so that's really the fun class, because they see it almost like a getting together of folks. We have mature driver. We have a plethora of other classes that, it's not all towards career development. But I think during this COVID times, we really have focused a lot on CT and short-term vocational in my particular department. And so with that said, that goes into the plug that I'm going to be putting. We are in the process of developing a new CompTIA certification. What that is imagine getting a job at a Geek Squad or a call center where, you're able to troubleshoot, basic functionalities of a computer, how to take a computer apart, put it back together. And so that has actually gone through a little bit of our curricular process, and we have a summer 21 implementation date. And if we're still in COVID, that doesn't keep us back from it. It has the ability to run fully online. It'll be short term. And so again, we're really hoping to capture some of our folks that are wanting to enter those entry level jobs in computer science. And then we have so much offering on our credit side, where those students can easily transition into our credit pathway for computer science. So those are the efforts that, we've been doing. And in addition, we have a new certification called Workability. What Workability is going to be is how to maintain a job past those 90 days. So it's those skills of not only student focus and how to get you an interview, but then how to maintain that job within those 90 days. And so that's an endeavor that we work with WorkNet, our GAIN consortium members, and other community members. We received responses from over 100 employers. These are the things that are kind of missing for students to maintain their jobs. And so we are also very happy to be launching that in summer of 21. And so we have a lot of exciting things coming our way. And like I mentioned, so always look at our website. That's going to be the most up-to-date information. And when in doubt, give us a call.
What is your website again? You did mention it earlier.
It's www.mccd.edu/non-credit.
Okay.
And so if you click on there, it'll give you a little bit of information. It actually has our 3 easy steps to apply. It gives you video tutorials on how to go about that. There's a section where you can look at our class schedule and get information on that. And again, when in doubt, really give us a call. We even have a chat feature, again, the chat feature because staff is out. We monitor it Monday through Friday. We are off for the holidays, returning on Monday, January 4th. And other than that, it'll link us to an email. So we'll go ahead and get an email and give you a reply back.
Okay. So one of the other questions that I have for you is, so this is, since all of these courses are currently online, what are some of the things that people that are listening or watching that are in another country that have a different time zone? What are some of the things that they're probably thinking, but wait a minute, I mean, we're in different time zones. Or what if, how about the students that you have currently in some of your programs that are from Spain, from Costa Rica, from Puerto Rico? And I mean, definitely, I don't know how many hours it's a different, are different from here to Spain, but what happens there?
Yeah. No, and that's a great question, because we do offer our classes what we call synchronously. And so what synchronous instruction is that it's on during the times that we have it published. So we do have some troopers out there that are logging in at odd hours. I think the difference, I know Italy is about maybe 9 hours of a difference. So it definitely is something to look out for. So if we hear of that, then we just make them know that if the class is scheduled, for example, our ESL classes, we usually run them in the morning and evening, just because we're always trying to capture our audience that, while, in a normal non-COVID world, those that have kids in school, that usually the morning works very well for them. So they're able to drop off children at school and then come over to our classes. Again, this is, non-COVID times.
Mhm.
And then the evening is for our working adults. So our adults that are working throughout the day and, need to be taking their ESL classes in the evening. And
Okay.
so that is the format. So if the class is scheduled Monday through Friday, 6 to 8, which is usually what we schedule, or a 5:30 to 8:30, we have different sort of hours, then that is the time that we are expecting the students to be logging in. It's live with the instructor, kind of similar to this chat
Mhm.
that we're having here. It's, live, and we're able to then revisit. They will be able to see some of the assignments on there and, go back and revisit, but there's no difference. There's no better option than
Mhm.
to be able to zoom in during the days and times that are
Yeah.
set. We always like to make sure the students know about that. But yeah,
Yeah. So
they
just
just have
for
to do
for
some math, and then they're
yeah.
troopers.
So for the people watching, like let's say in Texas, I think in Texas we have a 2 hour difference. So if it's 5:30
Right.
here, California time, then it's going to be 7:30 for them to start,
7:30.
or so on, and or in Spain if it's so people in Spain, let's figure out
Yeah.
like it's 8 hour difference. I don't know what it is, but so if it's 5 o'clock here, it's
It's
probably going to be like 1 o'clock in the
super
morning over
early in the
there.
morning.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Wow.
Yep.
Okay. Well, but it can be done. It can be done, definitely.
And it's
Okay.
happening. Yeah. So
Okay. So, some of the main questions were, what were some of the current courses available? The other one was, are they really at no cost? And I think you already answered that. Yes. Are there others that within your program that have a particular cost?
Tuition is absolutely free. So again, in adult education and non-credit, we do have absolutely free classes. So what that
Okay.
means is tuition is free.
Okay.
So you're not paying because there's no units to our classes. So you're not paying the $23 per unit per class.
Mhm.
There are book fees for some of them. For example, medical assisting, with it's all said and done with the testing and the books, it's probably around a $500 cost, but it doesn't compare to
Mhm.
some of the private institutions that are charging up to 2,000 above,
Mhm.
for a program. And so the program is absolutely free, and we make sure that we are fully transparent. So we do have an orientation for that medical assisting program. That's about the only program that has that sort of a fee, and it's because it's mostly the books and the test that you administer at the end of the
Mhm.
program. Then
Okay.
and so we have a weekly orientation. It's held every Tuesday right now via Zoom. And so if you want the details as to the Zoom link and more information, definitely make sure to send us an email, give us a call, and we go through everything in orientation. So our Professor Amy, she's our faculty coordinator for that program, and she goes over all the details: how long it's going to take, the book cost, the process, what you're going to be getting out of the program, and then how the placement works, because you are
Okay.
placed in different sites for the program. That's the program that I can think would be, the one that's like, oh, you said it's free, and now you're,
Mhm. Mhm.
hitting me with these fees. Most of the other classes, I must say, non-COVID times, we also have classroom set of textbooks. So
Okay.
the student has them available within the class time to be able to review it and things of that sort. And then, they're left in the classroom, or if the instructor is, okay with like a checkout process during the semester, then that's possible as well. But that kind of alleviates those barriers for our
Okay.
students, because a lot of the times we understand that those are, costly
Yeah.
things to invest in. But other than that, for adult education and non-credit, that's basically the only fees you would ever encounter is if you have to buy a book or
Yeah.
whatnot. And
Okay. And then also just a reminder for those listening that if there's no excuse if I don't have a computer, if the only
mhm,
thing that I have is a cell phone, I would an iPad. I don't have an iPad. You guys would loan a
yeah,
Chromebook to them, right? The only thing they have
yep,
to do is to be registered kind of like, oh, you're going to attend classes at Merced College, then we can loan you a Chromebook. Is that right? Right.
Yes, and we do check enrollment. So, there's an application process for you to go ahead and obtain a laptop. And then part of that certification process that you're saying that you are enrolling, then we check verification that you are enrolled. And then we do that every semester to make sure you're still enrolled with us. And during this time period, as long as you're a rollover from fall to spring, then you definitely are able to keep that laptop, again, as long as you're still with us and enrolling in the classes. And so you're absolutely right. Then that is another option that they have. And even you mentioned cell phones, and we do have some students logging in from their cell phones. So really, there's no excuse yet, right? It's just our willing to do something. Something that was mentioned in the Spanish interview that I really I love the quote that Carla used is that she's the one that works more directly with our students, and so she always kind of starts the conversation with, when was the last time you did something new, right? And so you kind of start thinking about, wow, that's right. Sometimes, we stay stagnant, or we just don't have a plan. And so, why not? Why not? I know it's been a hard year, and definitely, we all have different circumstances that, in 2020, we could probably all name and go through a laundry list of some of the not so great things about 2020. But if anything out of 2020, we've been able to have fully online classes. So really taking advantage of that. What is other things that we can take advantage during this time to better ourselves? And what better way to better ourselves than education? So that's always one of my biggest advocacy. I love education and the impact it has in our life. So I have,
Definitely.
is there a question there?
Yes, that is the question. What if you already,
Yeah. So what if you're already taking a class online with another college, but you want to retake it again at Merced College? Is that possible? So from our standpoint, yes, you can take as many classes as you want. So we do have adult education and non-credit. So our classes don't carry any units. So just making sure that I'm not sure which class you're wanting to retake. But for example, say you're enrolled at a different school for ESL, and then you want to take our ESL class. Like, there's nothing that could keep you from doing that. Now, if you're talking about a credit class and it has credits and there's credit bearings, that's a different question. So just make sure you get an appointment with one of our guidance counselors. We do have our own non-credit guidance counseling. So again, if you just call us or send us an email, we can connect you with our guidance counselor, and they can go over that information. Because if you're talking about a credit class, then yes, that would be a little different in terms of repeatability and how that looks on your transcript. So, yep.
Okay. Another question
So
is,
currently, yes.
is there any
Would you like me to
water?
read it? Sorry.
Yeah. Is there any wastewater courses available?
Not on our adult education and non-credit. They're looking into that is actually one of the recommended things that we look at from our board of trustees, some sort of water waste courses and programs, but it's being looked at on the credit side. So definitely more look out for more information in our upcoming board meetings and things of that sort. And if you're always welcome to send me personally an email if you have any questions, I'm more than happy. Just because we don't have, quote unquote credit classes in my department doesn't mean that I can't connect you with somebody that has, oversight over that area. So my email is jessica.moran. So just first name, last name, period in between, at mccd.edu. So never hesitate with any of those particular questions.
Yes. Well, definitely. I'm really glad that you.
Those are great.
Yeah, I'm really glad that we had the opportunity to have and basically share this information with people out in the community. When I heard about the different programs, I wanted to make sure that there's basically the opportunities are there. It's just like you just said, or Carla said, it's like here's another opportunity to do something different. and it doesn't hurt,
Right.
and it's free at no cost. I mean, it's and definitely those certificates that can help you um, improve or get ahead in your employment. Are there any other questions or
Yeah.
any other comments that you have before we conclude our conversation?
No, I first of all, thank you so much for this time that you're opening up to us and your audience. And hopefully, if you have any other questions, definitely feel free. The information's on the bottom of the banner, so definitely reach out to us. We are here, and like I said, even if we don't have that answer for you in our department, adult education and non-credit, we are one entity. We represent Merced College, and we are
Mhm.
more than happy to either route you. So if it's one of those questions where you need to get an ed plan put together, so a plan for your credit courses, we could always do that. So we could always give you that right information. I think one of the biggest barriers and some of the things that we see in our department is that there's this sort of stigma with serving adults that it's too late to go back, right? So we do service those 18 and over in my department, adult education and non-credit. An adult is considered 18 and over.
Mhm.
And so one of those are the biggest stigma. It's too late for me, or I
Mhm.
never saw myself as college material. I, you know what I mean? Oh, I'm okay with this job there, you know what I mean? And maybe you are, maybe you're doing amazing work and you're very happy and have achieved that level of self achievement in your career, or maybe not, and maybe you have this desire to move up in your position. If you knew English a little bit better, if you had become a U.S. citizen, maybe now you can apply for other jobs. So that's our role, and we're here to support you in that role. So reach out to us, and again, thank you, and make sure you give us a call, send an email, and we will be in touch with you.
Great. Well, thank you so much, and I want to thank everyone that is watching that sent their questions ahead of time, and those of you that added your questions to the comments. I really appreciate it. And don't forget to share this information or this video with others. And I'm sure there's always someone out there that is looking for something like this, that is looking for that other opportunity. And sometimes they, for whatever reason, they haven't come across something like this, and better, what better, no tuition cost. So thank you very much, Jessica. And if anybody has any additional questions, you can reach out to the adult and non-credit department, or email or message me, and then I will forward your information to them at Merced College. Thank you very much once again, and thank you for watching. Until next time.
Thank you.